All right, breaking news. Well, let's say breaking news, but news came out this afternoon. The NFL, National Football League, the NFLPA had ratified this and gave them the thumbs up for this. But the NFL owner, which would go to the NFL owners, they voted surprisingly unanimously to approve their players. All NFL players are eligible, whether they play for the United States, Canada, or any other nation that qualifies to play flag football in Los Angeles in the during the 2028 games. Now we've got some new sports coming. We got some new sports being incorporated this year in this Olympics coming up. The summer games, flag football is one of them. 7-on-7 lacrosse is one of them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Get to see some of the National Lacrosse League and Premier Lacrosse League stars. Which, by the way, PLL is coming to Albany next weekend. I'm hoping to go to a couple of games. The New York Atlas is playing. I guess they're. I want to say that they're kind of making their home base in Albany, which is pretty cool. So it's not only just it's not only the Firebirds, the Fire Wolves, the Tri-City Valley Cats, but now the New York Atlas has kind of made their home base Albany. So which is pretty cool.
Follow their lead, Rebecca Lobo.
That's right, Rebecca Lobo. Follow their lead. But let's talk about the NFL approving their players for flag football in 2028. Dustin, we've actually got in our archives on the 10 good minutes. I talked about this with Josh Mahler back in October 2023. That's how far ahead of the curve we were in terms of the NFL participating in flag football. But I want to get your thoughts. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What's your thoughts on the NFL approving flag football in 2028?
Well, I have two mind of it, and these are just my quick, rapid reaction thoughts. Me say something quick, I know, shocker, everybody. But I will say that first, I thought I'm a little shocked that the owners unanimously approved this. That not one of them said no, because I could see owners think in terms of contracts and player, and I would think they'd be like, well, what if a player gets injured during this flag football? What's that going to mean for our team? What's that going to mean for his contract status and negotiations and all these other things? But overall, I think it's a good thing. This is a new sport debuting at the Olympics, and I think a lot of people, when you get the opportunity to represent your country, a lot of athletes are going to want to do this, and I think that is a big reason why the owners probably approve this. And I'll be tuning into flag football where it would have been debatable if I was going to tune into it before. I think it's going to be something I'm going to want to watch now because I'm going to want to see, I know 2028 is a little bit away, but Tyreek Hill, he says he's widely considered one of the fastest men in the NFL. I want to see how fast he can run, when nobody's going to tackle him. I want to see how fast these NFL players can sprint out there. And also I'll be interested to see what the talent gap is, because what are other countries going to bring to the table? Will they get players from perhaps I don't watch enough UFL to know, but maybe they get some UFL players or things like that, because NFL Europe doesn't exist anymore. So it'll be interesting to see, but to me, it brings another level of interest. I'm in favor of it, I think, but I'm also surprised that the owners unanimously approved this.
I'm surprised too. Actually, I want to speak to Jerry Jones real quick. Now, Jerry, usually you're the contrarian when it comes to this type of thing. What made you change your mind and vote yes for the NFL owners approving flag football in 2028?
I was promised extra hot dogs during the Olympics if I acquiesced.
Are you going to bring in any of your Arkansas Razorbacks for these games?
Yes, I have been in talks. Jimmy Johnson and I are going to bury the hatchet, and we're going to travel together. And I've called Quincy Carter. He is going to come out of retirement and be the quarterbacks coach for our squad in 2028.
Well, there is concern that you may not be alive long enough to be at the Olympics. You're 82 years old currently. You'll be 85. Actually, nobody. You'll be 84 at the time. What's your secret for your longevity?
I have slowly been depleting the life from my sons and putting it back into me. Fear not, I will be there.
Well, I guess all that salt on your Egg McMuffin has no effect on your aging. Mr. Jones, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
Go Razorbacks. He's chiming into the commercial because if I don't read it, he'll give me get apoplectic. He says you have apoplexy. The good hair day of Dustin Henry is brought to you by Chicken Wing James Hair Plugs, brand new line of hair gels and mousse from spiky, frosted tips or slick back. Claim your style.
I know that brand is fully endorsed by Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray.
Good old Frosty Tips McGrath.
Yeah.
So we've had Dustin chime. Oh, wait, hang on. And Manly Beard's brand new trimmers. Manly Beard. Keep it manly, keep it bearded. Okay. So back to our regularly scheduled nonsense. I'm okay with this because I was listening to our friend of the show, Rod. Watch your feet. I'm going to drop some names. Friend of the show, Rod Peterson, was talking about this last week about the NFLPA saying get the go ahead from us for 2028. Now it's the CFL. Now you have to wonder what other leagues out there in the world are going to say, okay, we're going to send our best and brightest over to the CFL. They got to think about this. The pro leagues in Japan, the European League of Football also has to consider who to bring because it's gonna. I don't think it's going to interrupt their schedule because for the NFL it's perfect timing.
Yeah, because it's in the off season.
It's the dates for the Olympics are from July 14th to July 30th, 2028. So right as training camps are beginning, the Olympic Games are ending. So I have a feeling like probably, if they get the approval, they're going to start the flag football tournament pretty much day 2, and then run it through like day 9, day 10. Because the big events that happen at the end of the Olympics are men's and women's basketball. That's been the big event for gold medal games and the marathon. But unless you're a running enthusiast, nobody's really paying attention to the marathon. But the marathon is usually the last event of the Olympic Games. But I think with the NFL, they've timed this perfectly, and they said, you know what, we're going to send. Now I don't know how many athletes are going to be in the rosters. We'll have to find that out once we get closer to the Olympics and who the NFL is who the United States of America, USA Football is going to send for their best and brightest. But if it's like a roster of 20, because you're going to have 7 aside, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll double check the rules for flag football. But it's now you've got the CFL, the Canadian Football League. You're saying to them, all right, we made our move. Now it's your turn. I don't know if they're going to have to interrupt their season. Same with the X League. Same with the X League in Japan. Same with the European League of Football. Their season ramps up pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. So you get other leagues have to consider who they're going to send for their athletes, and we also need to find out who's going to qualify for the flag football section of the Olympics, because this is primarily I wouldn't say it's a demonstration sport, but we'll see if there's going to be if this is going to be in the future for Olympic Games in 2032 and onward.